Okay, Jim is trying one more time. Go live here, see how this works. I think we have everything ironed out this time. Like I said, you guys want to drop by, let me know if you see this. Just drop a hi in the chat or something. Jim's going to try to keep it up saved so you can rewatch it. Again, not 100% sure how this is going to work out. And Jim knows this was not a scheduled live stream. He just sort of wanted to try this out and see what he could get going. Maybe not get going. Anyway, appreciate all you guys being here. Appreciate, I think we're up to about 314 subscribers now, which Jim thinks is incredible. In real life, he finds it hard to get two people to listen to him, let alone 315. Anyway, maybe a little bit of an update on the channel. Weather has been rather calm and steady here lately. Did have a few days of steady rain. No storms, no lightning, no thunder. Well, some thunder. But no hail or severe winds where I'm at. Birds and squirrels have been relatively quiet. I don't know if they're sitting on nests or what they're doing. Would have expected more of them out picking up nuts and seeds as Jim throws them out. He has about 2 squirrels that come by regular. Has a pair of cardinals, a male and a female, that come around and pick up the unsalted peanuts he throws out. Robins, of course, are all over the yard hunting worms, but not nearly as many birds as Jim's used to seeing. Of course, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe Jim doesn't want to see all the common grackles and blackbirds in the yard. He does miss some of the finches and chickadees and the mourning doves. Jim will share a little fact with you. You may or may not know this. When mourning doves take off flying away, there's always that sound that Jim had always thought was them making alarm sounds with their vocal cords. Come to find out, that's not. That is something they do with their wings, and that's what makes that alarm sound. Jim just found it sort of curious and interesting and thought he'd share with you. I'm not sure that Jim has properly ever introduced himself. I'm Jim. Yes, I do try to refer to myself in the third party as much as possible, unless I forget and fall out of character. I am 57 years old, from the United States of America, state of Kentucky. I'm located in a area around the city of Owensboro. It is in the western half of the state along the Ohio River. And I'm not real sure what the population is now. I know at one time our county had a population of between 80 and 90,000. Not sure what that is now. I don't have the updated stats. Owensboro, pretty centrally located along the river, and the county pans out south to the east and west also of that. It's pretty rural in the county, a lot of farming. There are some developments, of course, like anywhere else, small towns, subdivisions, and such. Growing city and county, I suppose you would say. But anyway, Jim said he was going to introduce himself, not his hometown. I'm a photographer. Well, I like to call myself a photographer. I maybe will share some of my photos here in a stream every once in a while. I have another page that I've kept somewhat hidden, trying to develop it as a photo page, getting it off the ground, seeing where it'll go. And Jim was single, never married, no kids. Pretty much by choice. I watched friends that got married and had kids and all, and I know they enjoy it, but it just never did seem like something I thought I would enjoy doing. I guess in my younger days, a little bit of selfishness on my part. I like the ideal of getting in the truck, turning the key over, and just heading out without having to ask anybody, was anything going on that weekend, or making sure somebody was there to watch the kids or not watch the kids or whatever. So that's how Jim became single and never married and no kids. Let's see what else can I tell you about myself. My favorite color is a dark green. At one time in the 80s and 90s, it was called hunter green. Not real sure what they call it now. Pantone and the fashion and interior design world like to change the names of colors on Jim way too much for him to keep track of. Jim is a amputee. The bottom quarter of his left leg has been amputated. Jim was in a traffic accident with some extensive damage done to that bottom part of that leg. It was a compound fracture of the ankle, and orthopedic surgeon let Jim know going in that we had about a 50-50 chance of saving that leg or parts of that leg. After about 3 years of surgery, I believe like 6 or 7 surgeries, Jim told his orthopedic surgeon, let's just cut our losses and go ahead with the amputation. Doctors do not have a sense of humor. He looked me in the eye and he said, you do realize the seriousness of what we're talking about? And I said, yes, I do. And so another time Jim realized that doctors do not have a sense of humor. My doctor was fussing about my A1C and telling me I needed to be more careful with sugar and everything. And I informed my doctor that, hey, we're all going to die sometime. I just want to do it with a sweet taste in my mouth. Again, doctors just don't have the greatest senses of humor. So yeah, Jim let you know there that he's a diabetic, type 2. Have been for about 30 years. There's a little something that tickles me about that. Here in the United States and probably other places, insurance companies sometimes do what they call a prior approval. Your doctor says you need a treatment, you need medication, and your insurance company says, we'll see about that. So Jim has been a type 2 diabetic probably about 36 years now. And every month, Jim has to call in a couple of days early before he runs out of insulin so that the pharmacy can get a prior approval so that they can give Jim insulin for another month. The way Jim found this out was he called one day and said, hey, I forgot to call you guys on my last insulin needle, and I'm going to need some. And the pharmacist told Jim, he said, well, it's probably going to be 2 or 3 days. I'll have to get prior approval. And I'm oftentimes amazed that you can go into the emergency room and have anything done. I'm surprised the emergency room have to say, well, we're going to set you over in the corner for a couple of days with that broken arm till we can see if your insurance is going to let us put it, mend it for you. And so let's see. Jim likes nature photography. He mentioned that he was a photographer. He does like taking pictures of trees and birds and squirrels and flowers. They seem a little less contrary than humans do. He's done some portrait photography, but I don't know. Squirrels are easier to get to cooperate. You throw them a couple of peanuts, throw the birds a couple of sunflower seeds, and they'll run around the yard and pose for you all you need them to and want them to. The trees, flowers, unless there's a breeze, the flowers are pretty easy to get pictures of. They just sit there and look pretty, what they were made to do. Trees, they pretty much, even in the wind, just stand there and be trees. Something else Jim has tried a couple of times here on the page, and you guys, judging by the view, count or not into is some time-lapse photography of clouds. Jim finds that interesting, time-lapse photography. He also has managed, though, to get a couple of his clips picked up by people who were needing time-lapse cloud clips for their videos and different things. The air conditioner just kicked off, which reminded Jim that, again, when he set up this live, he didn't think to turn the air conditioner off so it wouldn't kick on. All these things I've seen that people tell me to do, like comb my hair, maybe shaved, look presentable on here. If you guys have not figured out yet, Jim is just who he is. Sometimes he gets wild hair and sticks a camera in his face and says go, and you get what I look like that day. Some days I decide to show me making my lunch, frying an egg, or whatever it is Jim does. You can find those in Jim's playlist that says Jim Cooks. Sometimes Jim will tell a story or two. Those are in Jim's playlist that's Jim Storytelling. Other videos with Jim featured in them are in Jim's non-story videos, or whatever it's called, that playlist. There's a playlist with clouds and weather, playlist with the birds and the squirrels. So, you guys should look around the playlist and see what you can find you like. The page is rather eclectic. It's not focused in on anything necessarily. Maybe nature, if nothing else. But I know maybe if I could find a niche, I could grow a little bit more, because people would know, hey, if we're looking for nature, we go to Jim. If we're looking for clouds, we go to Jim. If we're looking for some guy telling weird stories, we go to Jim. But Jim likes to be a supermarket. You can just get it all here. No need to hunt those other pages down. Jim has rambled on enough. He thinks he is not only boring you, but he's beginning to bore himself. And so he's going to let you guys go. Again, like I said, if you happen to see this on a replay or anything, if you want to just drop by, tell Jim hi, tell him you saw this, tell him you liked it, didn't like it, tell him how you could improve. One way you could improve is, like I said, maybe comb this hair. There's only so much I can do with that hair on top of my head, though. It's less and less of it every day. From what I understand, that comes with aging. And aging kind of stinks. But as my dad would always say, it beats the alternative. Jim wants to tell you guys he appreciates you. Glad you dropped by. Glad you hang out when you do. Appreciate all the comments, all the likes. Encourages Jim. Jim's going to be honest. He usually probably be doing this silliness even if you weren't here. He enjoys it. But it is nice that some of you enjoy it too. You like to come around. So shout out to those of you who've been around since the beginning and making comments and all. But also shout out to those who have come along recently and stuck around. Jim appreciates every one of you. I'll say all those things I'm supposed to say. Hit that subscribe button. Smash that like button, and all those other things that I'm supposed to remind you to do. I like to do that at the end of the video. I see some people that open their video with hit the subscribe button and smash the like button, and I think, all you've said is hello. I'm not sure I'm going to like the rest of the video. If you don't mind, I'd like to see if I like the video before I smash the like button. So anyway, Jim was continuing to bore himself, and probably you. So you guys take care. Be good to each other. Hydrate. Take your medications, your vitamins, your supplements, and try to get some rest.